What is up, everyone? Welcome to the video. Wolfie here, and today I've got an absolute banger for you. You have just stumbled upon one of the greatest videos to help you out in Arc Raiders around skill tree building. Now, I've gone around and tinkered with builds for days, and I've come and set myself upon three that I think will absolutely help you. Now, first and foremost, if you're thinking, what is this site he's using? It's arctracker.io. I'll put it in the description in a link so you can go to that. It tells you everything from you just tinkering with skill trees. As you can see on the left, needed items, quests, maps, home, hideout. It's got everything that could help you out for Arc Raiders before the full release, so you can see what you need to do and be ahead of the game. Now, as I said, I'm going to be showing you three skill tree builds. Now, before we get into this, if you do like this channel, that would be absolutely appreciated if you can subscribe, of course, comment for the algorithm, and just like the video. It always helps me out. Brand new channel for Arc Raiders. Now, across these three skill tree builds, we are going to see a common denominator, and this is what I think is the best skill in the game by far, in my opinion, of course, and that is this skill here, in-round crafting. Now, if anyone knows in the comments what you get additionally for being a traveling tinkerer, I would love to know, because I didn't get that far for it, and I dove into mobility a lot. But with in-round crafting, you will get the ability to craft in the round top side, not in Speranza, top side, shield charges, bandages, and some utility. So that is absolutely huge. So for every single one of these builds, you are first going to go Agile Croucher, because you need Agile Croucher to get into in-round crafting. Then you're going to go one into Revitalizing Squat to get you into in-round crafting. Now, in the other skill tree builds we're going to be going heavier into other areas. But for this, you can see right now, we are going heaviest or heavier into conditioning and mobility, and just having survival, getting us into in-round crafting. But for me, I'm going to be starting by getting these three skills first to get to in-round crafting, and this is going to be huge, especially as a solo player. I think a lot of people will be scared or have a bit of gear fear. They'll run free loadouts, and this is where you can survive a lot in the raid. And I think also in-round crafting is huge because it's consistent spawns in Arc Raiders. It's not just you're spawning in with another 10 people or 12 people on the map and you can clear the lobby. That's not how Arc Raiders works. Arc Raiders works that you keep spawning in, I think it's till the 10-minute mark, so you can just have enemies upon enemies upon enemies coming at you, and this is why this skill is so beneficial. Now, as I said, 1, 2, 3, I'm not going to go into a full in-depth skill order. I think you can personally work that out, but I'll tell you what I'm looking at doing. In total, these skill points add up to 50. That's what I think the level or max cap level for the skill tree will be. So I think we'll only get 50 to use. If it's more than that, you'll just have to tinker with it, but that's what I'm keeping it at for now. Then I'd go straight into looking at mobility. So we're starting off with Nimble Climber. I don't think there's any reason to go more than one in this, unless you are the type of person to play around little head glitches around ledges and stuff like that. But we're really focusing on these two left ones here, and we're really focusing on just enabling to getting both of these, right? These two 1 slots. Now, if you're thinking why I have 2 here in each of these, essentially you need 15 skill points prior to this sort of second tier to unlock it. So if I had only had 14 here, I wouldn't be able to get these two. So next for me, I'd be going straight into Marathon Runner as my 5th. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then essentially from that, I would then look at going to increasing my max stamina. Now, for me personally, you can either sort of leverage between the two and balance them out. I think maxing your stamina straight away is going to be the best. So I'm looking at going 1, 2, 3, 4 Nimble Climber to give us access. Then going 5 into Marathon Runner, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Youthful Lungs, then going back into Marathon Runner, and then doing these two. Now, there is a case where you can just say, I don't want to have 2 in Slip and Slide, I'll have 3 in Sturdy Ankles, or I'd just rather have 1, 1, and 3 on Nimble Climber. That is completely up to you. I really like that Slip and Slide. This is more of a mobility build where I can dodge roll faster with less stamina, and I can actually be a bit more slippery. And this is something where if you think, for example, Dam Battleground, sorry, there's the water treatment area where you're on second level, you can drop down and you take less damage. Now, you could put 3 points in this if you're the type of player that you think in situations you really need to drop down or do some crazy maneuver. It's completely up to you. I think out of all of this, the best thing to do is most probably go 3 into Slide further and faster. And that's honestly what I'd most probably keep it at. But I wanted to show you a little balanced build you could do there by putting 1 more point into Sturdy Ankles. But I think you'll use Slip and Slide way more than Sturdy Ankles and way more than Nimble Climber. So this looks really good to me. Again, we're maxing out these to a marathon runner and youthful lungs as quickly as possible. And then we're looking at getting 15 points here as soon as we can. Now, I'll tell you why I haven't gone into conditioning as much as possible yet. But first and foremost, what we need to do is we need to carry the momentum. After a sprint dodge roll, sprinting does not consume stamina for a short time, has a cooldown between uses. This is really going to play well into us slip and sliding because we're going to try and slide, then cancel that animation with a dodge roll, and then we've got more stamina, then we can move around costing less stamina, and then we've also got while walking your stamina regenerates as if you were standing still. That's absolutely massive. So we're looking at getting a bit of stamina regeneration and having high stamina as well. Then on top of that, I'm going into what's called effortless roll. So this is going to go way deeper into dodge rolling and being as quick as possible. Sorry, you can go 5 into heroic leap if you want. I'm not going to do that, but it's something you definitely can do, and then I just stop here. So if you think there's a skill maybe to the left here that you won't want in conditioning, I would then just put 5 into heroic leap, and then you're done with the mobility side of things. But then after that, I'm going straight into conditioning. Now, used to the weight, the reason why I'm not going into this straight away is for the start of the game, you're going to mainly be running a green shield. You move faster with the green shield, and then as you get to your blue and your purple shield, which you may run early on as well if you get lucky enough, that's when this comes in handy. But I think for these first 15 to 20 points, I really want to be at least focusing on getting to these to carry the momentum and calming stroll. I find no issue that if you get to here and then go to used to the weight, that's completely fine. But however, I've given you exactly what I'm looking at doing in terms of the mobility side. So after that, I really want to go into just either maxing this out straight away or getting into fight or flight. So I can go 1 into here, 1 into here, then go 5 into here. Fight or flight. When you're hurt in combat, you regain a fixed amount of stamina and it has a cooldown between uses. Again, this build is heavily focused on mobility, moving around as quickly as possible, dodge rolling, and regaining stamina when we're sort of walking, crouching, etc. So I really like fight or flight here. And again, we're having to get to 15 points to get to these areas. You cannot get to these tier 2 skills without having 15 points in here. So you see that everything must add up to 15. 5, 10, 13, 14, 15, which then unlocks these. And we need to do that for here as well. So I'm not only going 1 into Blastborn. I'm not big on this one. I'm only going 1 into Gentle Pressure. Honestly, there's a lot of sound in this game, so you can just hear people when they come in anyway. Generally, you're walking or sprinting into a building anyway, so I don't find a lot of value in that. But I am then putting 3 into Proficient Prior. Breaching doors and containers takes less time. The one thing you can't do is look behind you when you're breaching a door, and if you're playing solo, that could be very important. So the quicker you breach, the better. I have no issue if you want to max this out and go 5 of this, but that will be maybe in another build where we're looking at really being proficient and efficient looters. So unburdened roll, if your shield breaks, your first dodge roll within a few seconds does not cost stamina. That is absolutely huge with a mobility based build where our dodge rolls cost less stamina. So first one's free, then we're doing this for less stamina, then we've got the perk or skill heroic leap where we're doing it a lot more as well. Then the whole reason I'm doing conditioning here and I'm trying to get to basically loaded arms, your equipped weapon has less impact on your encumbrance. Now why this is good is because as we get more leveled up, we're going to have more skills, we're going to have more weapons, and we're going to have better weapons, whether it's legendary, whether it's your purple tier weapons, whether it's blue weapons, everything is going to get heavier. And I think this is going to be absolutely amazing if you're an Osprey user, quite a heavy gun. If you're someone that loves, you know, obviously the purples, I think it's Volcano, Tempest, this is going to work out really, really well for you because the last thing you want in this game is to be moving slowly. And as you can see here, the total is 50 points, and this is what I call my mobility conditioning build, obviously, but essentially I like to call it sort of the dodge roll stamina efficiency build. And if you want to take a screenshot of this or just pause it or just go onto ArcTracker.io while I've shown this and just copy it, then paste it yourself, go for it. So this is the first build. Let's get to the next one. All right, the next skill tree build we have, this is skill tree build number 2. This is for all of you out there that just want to stick to the skirts, be silent, and loot away and get as much as you can without getting into fights here and there, and just loot quietly. So this is the build for you. Now, as you can see, we are stocking up and loading in 37 points in survival and 13. We're completely negating mobility. I know that there's going to be a lot of people out there that are like, I don't care about mobility, I just want to loot and be conditioned a bit, and this is it for you. So let's start. As always, I will continue saying that my first thing I will do, the first 3, is going agile into revitalizing into in-round crafting. Now, what you can look at doing here is as quickly as possible. Remember, we need 15 points to be able to unlock these, but I think this is a really, really nice skill as well. Proficient prior, really, really big on that, and that's why we're delving into conditioning a lot, but not going all the way. So you can only put 1 in use to the weight to get into gentle pressure, which allows you to make less noise while breaching, which I think if you want to be a silent looter is going to be absolutely amazing. But we are focusing on looter's instinct. So after you get into in-round crafting, you can then only do 1 into agile croucher. You don't need to do the 3. Now, the only reason we have 3 is so we can get 15 in total to get to here. However, I'm more than happy if you want to go 1 into agile croucher and 3 into revitalizing squat. That is completely up to you. But the 5 or the 2 we're maxing out for 5 skill tree points is looter's instinct into silent scavenger. So you make less noise when looting, and then you also loot faster, and at the same time you're going to be breaching faster and then making less noise when breaching. Now, before you go fully into conditioning, I don't think you immediately have to get these 2, right? I don't think you need to do it. Now, I do like these skill trees. I'm more than happy for you to only come up to in-round crafting. You don't have to get good as new, and I think it's more than viable to just put it into use to the weight. However, the reason why I think good as new is really, really good is not because of its actual skill tree and what it does, but we need to get to Stubborn Mule. Now, Stubborn Mule is your stamina regeneration is less affected by being over encumbered. Now, if you're going to have a ton of loot, a ton of stash, a ton of things in your inventory, this is going to be absolutely a must-have for you, because at the same time, what are we maxing out? We're maxing out broad shoulders. Increase the maximum amount of items you can carry. This must be maxed to 5 if you're going to be a heavy looter player. And then on top of that, we're going into 1 Raider's scraps. When looting Raider containers, you have a small chance of finding additional field crafted items. That can be absolutely huge as well. Then Looter's luck. While looting, there's a chance to reveal twice as many items at once. So we're speeding up our loot. We're making our looting really quiet. We're making our breaching faster and more quiet as well. And then of course, you got to get to the end, which you need 37 points to get here, which is security breach. Lets you breach security lockers. If you haven't seen security lockers before, they're just lockers that have better loot in them, but you need this skill tree. So that's going to be absolutely massive for you. And again, I like use of the weight as a skill tree that you could put up, but for this specific build, we're going 37 into survival. Remember, 50 in total here. And essentially, we're negating all mobility to just be crazy, silent, fast looters in Arc Raiders. So this is skill tree number 2. And also, if you disagree with any of the skill trees or certain things I do, just let me know. I'd love to hear your opinion in the comments below. Let's go to the last and final skill tree build. All right, last but not least, don't laugh, but there will be some people that do this, and they might not even do the 3 points in survival. There are going to be some of you out there that put a full 50 points into mobility, and for me, I just couldn't do it. But this is the full mobility skill tree build. Now, I have to have these 3, as I spoke about at the start of the build, and I will go these first always. However, you can put the full 50 into mobility if you want. We're starting off with 5 in nimble climber. You can climb and vault more quickly. Then 5 into slip and slide, so you're sliding further and faster. Then sturdy ankles gets maxed, so when you're dropping from like heights of 10-20 feet, you're going to be completely fine, take less damage, and be able to even do a roll after that. And that's where you would put extra points into if you didn't want to go this, but we'll get to that soon. Marathon runner and youthful lungs, which I think are the two of the few best out of mobility. We're maxing that, and then we're getting carry the momentum and calming stroll. So while you're walking, your stamina regenerates. After a sprint, dodge, roll, sprinting does not consume stamina for a short time, and it has a cooldown. Then we're going 1 into crawl before you walk. That's so we can get to vigorous vaulter. So vaulting is no longer slowed down while exhausted. We're going 5 into dodge rolls, cost less stamina, and heroic leap. So we know why about this. I explained that before in the first build. And then you can wall leap further. Now, I'm completely fine if you actually go 1 into off the wall and go 5 into ready to roll, which is something that will work well with you falling, losing less damage from the fall, which is sturdy ankles, and then being able to do a recovery roll better with that. Or you could try and balance it out, go 2, 3, whatever you want. And then we're going both vaults on vaults on vaults. So vaulting no longer costs stamina. If we are exhausted, it doesn't slow us down, and then we get to jump at the end of the vault too as well. Again, for me personally, the first skill tree build is what I'll be going. However, this is your full mobility build with that tiny bit of survival, so you can have in-round crafting. But if you didn't want to go that, you could essentially go something exactly like this, and that is completely fine as well. Guys, that is the video. This is 3 builds that I think you can use in Arc Raiders. Now, I'm not hating on the conditioning side of things. I just think there's better things towards skill tree 2 and up, especially in the 3, like level 3. I really like mobility, what it offers. I love some of the survival perks, but I'm sure there's conditioning skills that you guys would love and you're sort of questioning. But again, let me know in the comments below. Please like, subscribe, and comment for the algorithm. That would be absolutely appreciated, and I really hope these 3 skill tree builds help you out. Good luck, happy release day, it's just around the corner, and get arcing. Speak soon.